giving you an opportunity to get the full story from the people who tell it best. This is Mediacom Newsleaders.
Okay, this segment's about the Missouri River, one of my favorite subjects, really, when you think about it. But this is the Missouri River Cultural Conservancy. Sounds like a mouthful, doesn't it? Very important for our area. You'll find out why in just a moment. But let me introduce you to David Lineberry. Hey. David, hi, welcome to Newsleaders.
Thank you, James. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. You're a volunteer, more than that, really, but you're calling yourself a volunteer for Missouri River Cultural Conservancy, which is also MoRivCC. That's the shorter version of it.
That's right.
I read in an email you sent, and I'm just going to read it to you. The mission for this group is to identify and preserve the musical and artistic heritage of the Missouri River region.
Right.
An outstanding statement, but it just sounds like a lot to cover here.
Yeah, it's a heavy lift, and we've started small and local, but the mission is about the entire Missouri River region. So when we think about expanding our presence and building our organization, for instance, just in the world of music, to think about the Missouri River region and what that entails for music. You've got jazz up in Kansas City, and you've got blues in St. Louis, and you've got great country music and blues and fiddling all in between. I mean, it's just extraordinary, the diversity, the cultural diversity that's along the river.
But the river extends...
Well, we could go all the way up to the headwaters, right? And we're talking about that because we have a vision for uniting artists and musicians all along the river through MoRivCC, and maybe even uniting some venue spaces for those artists to display and perform their art. So we're in the process of expanding our presence right now. This year, that's one of our main goals for the organization.
I love it.
Yeah.
It just sounds great.
Yeah.
It needs to be done.
Yeah, but I'd like to talk a little bit also about how we began,
Sure.
because I think that's the origin story of this group is really what brought me on board, and I think a lot of others. 14 years ago, a very talented local songwriter named Jerome Wheeler, who has since passed away, was having a conversation with Mike Cooper. And Mike's still very much alive and is the proprietor of Cooper's Landing down at the river outside of town. And Jerome was talking with Mike about all the music that is created around here. And not just the music that you know you can find in bars and nightclubs any night of the week, right? But all the music that's on porches and in basements and in living rooms and wherever people gather. And the thing about it is, if you're a painter and you never have an art exhibit and you never sell a canvas, when you pass away, someone gets your paintings, you know. And if you're a potter, there are ceramic wares after you've gone, right? But if you're just a songwriter, if you are a songwriter, even if you write great songs, if you don't record, and if you don't go out and perform on radio shows and things like that, when you pass, where is that? Where does that art go? It just disappears. And so Jerome said there ought to be something we can do to capture that music and that art that's so temporary and preserve it, because that's our culture. And so the Missouri River Cultural Conservancy was born out of that conversation. And so our goal, as you appropriately said, is to identify, to document, to archive, and to foster awareness of the art and musical heritage of the Missouri River region. So since that initial conversation, for 14 years, we've been building an archive of recorded original music performance by local songwriters and performers. And we are in the 14th year of that 15-year project.
And when you say recorded, you mean?
Not just recorded, filmed. These are filmed performances, multi-camera performances, multi-track audio, all edited into performance quality videos. About 100 of them are available already on our website, www.morivcc.org. And you can go there and see several years worth of these performances. Now, we will be giving that archive to the Missouri State Historical Society in the fall of 2019 when they open their new architecturally significant building.
Yes.
We're going to be there and we're going to be giving them this archive, and then they will be custodians of that for the citizens of Missouri for the rest of time.
Wonderful.
Yes, and so what we do is we, 2 or 3 different times during the year, at 3 different occasions, we have a winter recording sessions. This year we recorded at Cafe Berlin, we recorded at the Mission in Jefferson City. We have a new venue just coming online I'm very excited about, which is the Merriweather Cafe in Rocheport. where we will then periodically through the year, we'll get these local songwriters and musicians in there, and when we record them and film them. Then we edit all that into performance quality videos, and then we get 5 to 10 artists a year for 14 years. So if you go to our webpage and you take a look at the archive that's posted there, you'll see great folk and original musicians going back quite a few years. Bob Dyer, Ken Shepard, Lee Ruth, Dave and Kathy. I mean, just great musicians we all know, but also a lot of other musicians you haven't heard. Because again, we're looking for the original songwriters. We're looking for the people who aren't out there making CDs, who aren't out there banging a bass drum down Main Street, you know. And so that's where we are. Now, just one last thing. I know you got our mission statement allows us to engage in all kinds of art, not just music. And so one of the things we're doing this year is really expanding our presence with the painters and the visual artists, with ceramic artists, with fiber artists. And down the road, we even have a vision for some culinary art stuff.
That encompasses everything just about.
We're trying to do our best. And the cool thing about it is, it really is, you know, what is the river culture? It's the culture that's by the river, it's the culture that's about the river, it's the culture that comes up out of the fields in the river itself and out of being on the water or being near the water, out of fishing, also just watching the sunset. I mean, it's just very broad. So we have historical societies that focus on a county history or on a city history, but we're really just about the culture.
Okay. Find out more at the website, morivcc.org. You're going to come back later, too, and we'll talk about an Eco Art Fest that's happening at Cooper's Landing in September.
That's right.
Have you on next time talk about
That'd be terrific. We're looking for volunteers and artists. Go to our webpage and fill it out. We'd love to have you on the Eco Art Fest. That's the weekend after Labor Day.
David Lineberry, good to meet you. Thank you.
Good to meet you, James.
We'll see you on a future
Thanks so
site.
much.